What are some of the top reasons a home isn't selling?
What does cause a home to sell, right? It's the agent or team selected, it's the marketing, and it's the pricing strategy.
I think that the one thing that you don't want to hear, but it's high likelihood, is that you price the property too high. Price reductions going on, homes are sitting a little bit longer on the market, and maybe when you did the pricing, you were looking at when the market was peaking and there was a crazy high demand. Hey guys, and welcome back to Black Belt in Real Estate. This is season 2, and in today's episode, we're gonna talk about questions that you probably have right now, and that is, why isn't your home selling? So I'm sorry that you're here for that reason, but we're just gonna go over a couple of things that happens to a lot of sellers, and hopefully that can help you in getting your home sold. I have my co-host, my mentor, James Suarez, CEO of the Suarez team, which is the #1 team for Keller Williams in California. So we've been through these situations over and over again and time again, and we have been able to combat it. So first of all, welcome to the show, and welcome, James, here again. So yeah, let's talk about, like, what are some of the top reasons a home isn't selling?
Well, let's talk about, what does cause a home to sell, right? It's the agent or team selected, it's the marketing, and it's the pricing strategy. So reverse engineering, it's probably one of, if not all three of what causes a property, to sell. First off, let's dive into, what the rules are that agents have to abide by in the code of ethics. Agents are not allowed to talk to sellers that are under contract with another agent. So oftentimes, sellers call us, frustrated that their house is not selling and they want guidance. Unfortunately, because of the code of ethics, agents aren't allowed to give that guidance. One of the big benefits of, listing with us is we have a clause in our contract that says that if any time the seller's not happy, feels misguided, they're able to, cancel the contract. Unfortunately, a lot of sellers are held hostage. Their agents don't have that clause in, so they have to either get their agent to cancel the contract or they have to call the broker and go through a series of events. But, right now what we're seeing is more sellers, frustrated because, their property's not selling, because the fact of the matter is any agent with a heartbeat, in the beginning of 2022 in the market that we were in, was able to put a house on the market and, they'd be a rock star and the house would sell like that, oftentimes in multiple offers. Well, this is a different market than we were in before. So let me ask you, what do you think the #1 reason why properties aren't selling in today's market are?
Yeah, let's go over the top reasons. And I think that the one thing that you might don't want to hear, but it's high likelihood, is that you price the property too high. And I know as a seller, you don't want to hear that, but we're looking at right now, and I don't know exactly when you're watching it, there are price reductions going on. Homes are sitting a little bit longer on the market. And maybe when you did the pricing, you were looking at comparables from when the market was peaking and there was a crazy high demand. So I think that realization, I think it's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's the main reason why a home isn't selling.
Yeah, oftentimes it is the price, but it's not always the seller's fault, right? Because they're relying on their agent to guide them on value, right? And we've talked about in previous episodes, there is something called buying a listing, which a listing agent comes in and tells the seller probably what they want to hear versus what they need to hear in order to get the listing, right? So we can't always blame the seller for the price. It's the agent's responsibility to be the fiduciary and let them know what actually market value is and what's happening with the market. So before we blame the price, we also have to look at what the true market value is. And before we say it's just the prices, that's hindering the sale, we have to look at, what is the agent's, experience? Have they sold a whole bunch of properties? Have they, lived through a marketing shift? And then we also want to look at the marketing. What marketing is happening? What's happening on social media, right? What type of videos are being put out? What are the analytics? Because maybe it's just that the property's not being correctly marketed to the audience that it needs to. A lot of agents, do what we call the 3 Ps. They, put it in the MLS, they put up a sign, and they pray that it sells, which in that situation, it's not the price, right? It's the marketing that's happening. So we really need to dive into, all 3 of those factors. Unfortunately, because of the way, or fortunately, because of the code of ethics, agents like myself are not able, and like you, are not able to communicate with sellers that, are under a contract.
Yeah. I mean, one of the other reasons could be also look at the property description. Have you missed something? Something that is very crucial right now is having a flex space or having an ADU, which a lot of buyers are looking for. And I help clients that say, I need at least 4 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms plus a flex space or an ADU, and it's not always listed, which makes me sad. So I go through, I call them, and a lot of times, we missed that. And that's not good for the seller.
That's not, and that kind of also comes into marketing, right? And the other is, are there professional pictures? Is there a professional 3D tour? Is there a professional video, right? All of these are very important when it comes to selling a house. How are they showing the property, right? Is it on a lockbox? Is the assistant showing it? Or is the lead agent the one who's showing the property? Because showings are very important, right? Are they doing open house signs? Are there 15 or 20 open house directional signs pointing to the property, right? How is it being exposed both locally, nationally, and internationally?
Those are great questions to ask your agent. Also, I think pictures are so important. Even though we love the 3D tour, the video, and all of that, but research shows that most home buyers, they're looking at the pictures. And you get a couple of seconds because people are online on their apps, they're looking at properties. And if the first 1 or 2 or 3 pictures are not interesting, or I would even go so far to say if the first picture is not good, you're missing a lot of buyers. And that's why I love our approach. And we don't actually choose the first picture ourselves, right? We do it through data and A and B testing to know which our target audience are going to most likely click on, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have a marketing team that go through a series of edits in all of our marketing. So yes, I mean, people do judge a book by its cover, right? So they look at that first, picture or 2 to decide if they want to look on. But we also know that 8 out of 9 buyers make a decision after watching a video. Yeah. So we need to make sure that we nail the pictures, because most of the time it is like a series of, they look at the pictures, then they watch the video, and then some of them take the 3D tour. But again, we can't miss any of those steps, and we have to make sure that they go all the way down the funnel, because let's say that the pictures got them interested, but there's no video or 3D tour, right? We may lose their interest. Whereas, a great video is going to get them excited to come and now see the property, or then again, take the 3D tour, which then bottom of the funnel gets them to, call you to say, hey, can we schedule a showing? And then once they schedule a showing, we need to make sure that a professional, that knows the property, that was hired to sell the property, is the one showing up versus just giving a lockbox code out, or, an unlicensed assistant that shows it to them, which, unfortunately does happen quite often in our market.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're watching this and your home isn't selling, we hope that it's gonna sell soon. And let's go into a couple of more, like, what can you do? So let's talk about, you have realized as a home seller your price is too high and you want to do a price reduction. So like, what approach and what mental approach do you do in that situation?
Yeah, again, if it's determined that it's definitely the price, right? There's other factors that we can look at before we drastically lower the price. I mean, in order for a price reduction to actually have an effect, statistically speaking, it needs to be at least 5%. But in a shifting market, 8 to 10% is what's recommended. But there's other strategies to look at as well, like creative financing or offering a buy down, because if you're able to buy down a buyer's rate, because 8 out of 9 buyers make a determination on which house to purchase based on monthly payment. So if you can do a rate buy down, where instead of doing a huge price reduction, you can offer to buy down the rate from 6% to 5%, it makes it much more affordable. Or you can offer seller financing, which makes it much more affordable. Instead of reducing the price by hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? You can offer a rate buy down, do a smaller reduction, a combination of with the rate buy down, which saves you tons of money.
Yeah, I mean, there's many ways of sweetening the deal and make a property more attractive. I think another way to look at it is also to look at your staging. Did you do the staging, and how well did you do the staging? If not, there might be a time now to reconsider and make it better, take new pictures, and get your property in a much better light.
Yeah, I'm smiling because I'm thinking of our clients, Dan and Grace, who had their house on the market for a long time with, one of our competitors. And it wasn't selling. They were experiencing the frustration. They finally canceled the listing, and they interviewed other agents. And most of the other agents' solution was a price adjustment. But we knew the market very well, and I said, no, actually, it's not the price. It's actually the way the house is presented, because you have a lot of dark colors. There's a lot of personality in this property, and I love the personality in this property, but it's not for everybody. So they followed our advice. We did some painting. We did some staging. Long story short, we put it back on the market, and within 2 weeks, sold it for the asking price, right? So yes, they invested a little bit in painting and staging, but the other agents they were talking to were talking about doing hundreds of thousands of dollars price reduction, which now they were able to net more. It's just the way the market was, the way the property was being presented, right? Only was to, a slight few people, whereas, when we, neutralized it, it made it a lot more attractive, for the masses.
That's great. And one thing that we also sometimes forget is the curb appeal, right? Curb appeal is so important. When you drive up to that home and you see it for the first time, you want to feel that attachment and love. So I think another question that you should ask yourself if you're a seller and your home is not moving, have you done everything you can to make your curb appeal appealing to the masses, right?
Right. Well, I mean, that goes back to, the agent or team you choose, because knowing how important curb appeal is, right? Did your agent walk through what you need to do in order to put your property, in the best showable condition, right? Was the exterior painting needed? Was there landscaping, that needed to be done? Is your front door, attractive, or should we repaint it, right? Is there termite damage that you can see, on, right below the roof, right? It's important to have these discussions before going on the market, and if that didn't happen, right, those discussions are crucial, in the next round if you are to, choose another agent before, to relist your house and sell it.
Thank you so much, James, for taking the time to talk about this. This is a hot topic, and I know if you're here watching this episode, you might be a little bit frustrated right now. We wish you all the best. We're happy that we were here to at least give us our insights in what we do to sell homes. So thank you so much for watching Black Belt in Real Estate, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching Black Belt in Real Estate. We really appreciate having you here. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, we would love the opportunity to interview for your business. James, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, what I would say is just to remember that this is a business decision, not a personal decision. And something that Peter and I and our team pride ourselves on is we look at ourselves more like consultants than we do salespeople. A lot of salespeople have that commission breath and they push you to buy or sell when you're not comfortable, whereas we take a systematic approach, a personalized approach to determine what is best for you and your family. And if now is not the time to buy or sell, we're okay with that, and at least we've given you that information. So as Peter said, we truly would appreciate the opportunity to earn your business.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.